How to secure forward deployed engineering interviews fast. Okay, I'm gonna walk you through this, and everything is gonna be inside this Notion doc right here. So if for whatever reason you don't know how to access this, please do not hesitate to go ahead and ping me directly on LinkedIn or on our online WAP community. I'm here for y'all. So for starters, let's go ahead and talk about what most people are doing. Most people are actually looking for forward deployed engineering roles in all the wrong places. They are searching for the forward deployed engineering roles underneath jobs, which is right here, when they should be actually sourcing it for posts. So if you go to LinkedIn and then you go to posts, you'll basically see all of these forward deployed engineering roles here. So you have a forward deployed engineering role here, you have a forward deployed engineering role here, and you have a forward deployed engineering role here. Basically, any job that you can imagine, I mean, whether you are part of the US, Canada, UK, or part of our European cohorts, forward deployed, like how they're hiring for forward deployed engineers, and actually all of tech jobs in general. Give me a second. If I was looking for a product manager role, I would go to posts, and I would go to show all posts, and then boom, I would go ahead and actually see a bunch of product manager roles. Which kind of brings us to what are the best times to go out there and actually apply. Monday mornings, Thursday afternoons, Friday afternoons, Sunday nights, and Saturday mornings. Those are some very prime times. But you will see that you have product managers, you have all this tech talent that's basically hiring on LinkedIn. Now, why is that? Let's give you some context here. Everybody's resume looks the same. Everybody's using the same prompts, and everybody's resumes are like largely the same templates. And that's not helping you differentiate yourself from anybody else in the marketplace. So first things first is let's identify like what the friction is. Most people are applying to jobs directly onto the application portal, and then the next person that it actually goes to is it actually goes to a recruiter. And you have to understand the recruiter is recruiting for everyone and every department. And everybody is saying my role is the most urgent role. So it goes to the recruiter. And in the recruiter, these are not very, you guys got a chance to meet them. I used to be one. They're not exactly the most like professional or on top of it people. On top of the fact companies are also automating away recruiters. So when you take a look at a recruiter, then what does a recruiter go through? Well, the recruiter, before it actually even gets there, they got to go through something called the applicant tracking system, or ATS. And then meanwhile, the recruiter has to go ahead and actually screen you, schedule time for a screen, okay? And then once they basically have that, then the next part of the process is, what do they do now? Well, they refer candidate to hiring manager, and the hiring manager can go ahead and decide whether or not they want to actually interview or talk to this person. And then you have hiring manager. Why don't you go ahead and instead of the job portal, why don't you just go to the LinkedIn posts from the hiring manager, which is right here. And then now you can bypass all these people right here, and then you can get to the hiring manager. It's really simple, right? That's it. Like, I would say this is just a lot easier. So the reason why people don't do that is they don't know what to do when they see these posts. So let me go ahead and actually give you guys some tips. The next thing that you want to go ahead and do, and you want to go ahead and approach this process very similar to that of a forward deployed engineer, is you can go out there and send a message. But here's the friction point. A lot of times people are sending out the message, they're like thinking about a week before what's the perfect message, or, like, let's just go ahead and operate like a real forward deployed engineer and let's just get momentum. What I would do here is I would copy all of these different links and I would add it over to a spreadsheet and I would repost it first. You see this right here? I would just repost it. Why do you want to go out there and repost it? You're not even asking anything from them. Don't ask because you're not ready. Chances are, unless you're in our program and you've been in the program for at least a week or 2 weeks, or maybe you just joined our program. If you're going to think about the perfect thing to write, just repost. Just go out there and get the thing out there. And this is just something that you can do 15 times over every single day. Listen, this was posted up 4 hours ago. Repost it. If you're a little fancier, you can take this right now, like my boy here, Lawrence, right? And you can go out there and post it. You see here, forward deployed engineer, the hottest emerging job in technology. They are not wrong, okay? Key pursuits, forward deployed. I'll go out there and repost this, and I would say like, hey, key pursuits, or like, you know, Zach is hiring for a forward deployed engineer. Please share with your network. It's very simple. And you're probably going to be thinking to yourself, Rich, why? Everybody's going to be rushing this guy's job and thinking, and how do they get in front of it, right? If you want to stand out from the marketplace, you have to be different. If you don't want to differentiate, if you want to differentiate yourself from everybody else that looks the same, what you're doing right now, be smart. You're a forward deployed engineer, right? You're doing everything. If what you're thinking about right now, think like an FDE, like a rock star FDE. How many other people are going to be doing that? Probably everybody is going to say, I'm a good fit for this FDE position because, you know, I'm a good fit. Like, I saw that you're looking for an FDE and I wanted to go out there and like, you know, you're going to say, like, yeah, I would love to go out there and join Palantir as an FDE. Like, okay, have a little bit more value. Here's what you're going to go ahead and do next. We want to go ahead and repost as many of this because the next thing that we want to do here is we want to record a short YouTube video about what this role is and how to be successful for this role. So if you come over here, this is a video that I think is really good for people to go ahead and actually reference, which I'm going to add back into this little playbook that we have here. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm just going to add this. I'm going to embed it. Okay. You should always apply to every tech role. I don't care if it's a forward deployed engineering role or a product manager role from the place that you're an instructor, coach, or mentor. You differentiate yourself from the market when you are presenting yourself as somebody that is in a capacity to teach other people how to do something. Companies love tech talent that can actually help them train because what they really need right now is to have somebody inside their team to help them scale up their talent. There has been a 700% increase in the number of openings for forward deployed engineers. And there are a lot of people that want to transition into this role, but the delta between the people that can do this job and the people that are trying to do this job is still very, very wide. Which is why you have to brand yourself off as somebody that's training up other forward deployed engineers, or at least an aspect of it, right? Because the next thing that you're going to do, take it from me because I used to be a recruiter, is you are going to present yourself as this pitch. If I'm not the best fit for this role, I guarantee I know who is because you're out there, which also means you have a network. Hiring teams are very aggravated to interview people because recruiters don't present them with very good talent. And the talent's not good, not because the person's not qualified in terms of skills, but a lot of hiring teams do not take the time to write out like a product requirements document for the recruiting team exactly who it is that they need. They simply tell the recruiting team to go ahead and start presenting candidates and when they can start interviewing because they want to move fast and break things. What ends up happening is basically this. What ends up happening is the recruiting team starts presenting candidates and the hiring team starts saying, well, all these people are a bad fit. And what ends up happening is the hiring team starts getting aggravated at the low quality candidates that are being presented on the interviews. So they show up to these interviews with this extremely hostile demeanor because their bandwidth and their focus to do deep work is being hijacked by 50% of the interviews that they know are not going to convert to the next round. This is actually why when you're interviewing, you can go out there and to get them to relax a little bit more, because you got to think like a forward deployed engineer. If I don't think that I'm the best fit for this role, or if for whatever reason this is not a good fit for us, I would be very happy to introduce you to somebody in my network that is. And when they see that you are a mentor or coach with Tech Careers, a company that's been known to create extremely high quality tech talent, this is what they're thinking. The recruiter at the end of the day is not a tech professional. So it's hard for us to sit down to explain to that person who it is that we need when that person's probably not even going to know anyways, right? But you're in the community. So if we decide that the person that we really need is this other person, you'd probably be the best person to refer that person to us. Now the dynamic for your interview is completely different. Why? Because they feel like they're winning either way. Either you're the right person for us, in which case this is not a waste of our time, or you know somebody in your network that may or may not even be actively looking, and those are the real rock star people, that is probably going to be a way better fit for this role than all the people that are just desperately trying to push through our applicant tracking system. And when they see that you repost roles on LinkedIn all the time, along with everything else that we've asked you to do, like repost CEO posts and founder posts and growth manager posts, they're just going to naturally interpret you're a person that gives a lot of value because you're very in tuned in the marketplace. Meanwhile, everybody else is constantly complaining, hiring is dead, tech is over, I can't wait for these hiring managers to be looking for a job themselves. I feel for each and every one of them. You may sense a vibe of like a little tad bit of sarcasm in the tone, but I really do, because all they're doing is just manifesting misery. And that's not going to be a good place to be in, because voila, boom, in your greatest despair, you get an interview from one of these people, just like how one of the people that's in our program from Europe recently just got a forward deployed engineering referral for Google, and you want to be showing like, wow, this person's been constantly posting really, really, really cool stuff. And this person seems to be very well embedded in the marketplace, and they seem to know all these other influencers and other people that work at VCs, and they're posting and referring other people in the forward deployed engineering space, and everybody kind of knows each other. That's a person that we want to go ahead and actually work with. So in my next video, I'm going to go ahead and actually show you how to put together a rock star portfolio for a company that you're very excited about as a forward deployed engineer. And I'm going to also go ahead and show you how you can do it with Claude. And you can do this literally in 15 minutes. It's so easy. It feels illegal. All right. That's the next video. Catch you there.